Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. I have to apologize. I am a little under the weather, so my voice is a little deeper than it usually is. Um, we're doing this anyway. So it's interesting. Last week I did an episode for you about procrastination and the self inflicted stress that comes with that. And I'm not usually a huge procrastinator because it stresses me out, obviously. And I absolutely procrastinated this episode. It is 5:45 in the evening on Thanksgiving Day, and you will get this episode tomorrow morning. So I'm really left it down to the wire. But um, my family and we were out of town last week and got back Saturday and had plenty of time to do it, but then I kind of got sick and I put it off and I was hanging out with the family and was off this week with my son for Thanksgiving break. So I put it off and here we are. But it's fine. I'm doing it and thankfully I love doing these episodes, so it's not too bad. But so in the United States today, it's Thanksgiving. And so our topic today is kind of around that, the idea of being thankful, gratitude, things like that. But I want to come at it from a different perspective than maybe you're used to. So I don't want to encourage you to be grateful today. I think that's what a lot of us do around Thanksgiving is we think of all the things we're grateful for, all the things we're thankful for, our family or friends, the things in our lives. But I don't want to focus on that. I actually want to take it a little bit bigger. I want to challenge you to think about the difference between being thankful when prompted to do so, like today on a holiday, or in this general season of the holiday season general, coming up to Christmas, New Year's, and all of that. And I think for a lot of us, that's when we are encouraged to really think about other people and what we have and how thankful we are for what we have and things like that. But I wanted to challenge you to think about that and what that means to you, because I don't want you to just be thankful because you're prompted to be thankful because it's the holiday season and because it's Thanksgiving. I want you to think about being the kind of person that lives a more thankful life, the kind of person that lives a life where you are more aware, generally speaking, on a daily basis, every single day of your life, the things in your life that I want you to be grateful for. Because a lot of the times, what I find is people who are really, really good at being thankful in the holiday season or on a day like today, but then the rest of the year or the rest of their lives, um, they're not very thankful people. They're not very aware of all the things that they have in their life that they should be thankful for. They're actually more negative. They're more, they complain a lot. They're whining. They tend to look at the negative parts of life. And that is the outlook that they have on life, is one of more negativity. But then when something like this comes around, the holiday, they're the most thankful people and they really are encouraging their family members to be thankful and things like that. And so I want you to think about whether you are the kind of person that generally tries to live a more grateful life, or if you're just the kind of person that tries to be grateful when prompted to do so. And there's no judgment in me saying this to you. I think all of us have to work on being more grateful throughout our lives. Um, it's not easy. Life is difficult sometimes, and there are a lot of hardships that people face. And I think a lot of people, it's easier to be thankful when things are going well. It's easier to be thankful and grateful when things in life are not super challenging, but when things are lined up the right way and when we're getting what we want. But the key is to figure out how to be more thankful and more grateful for the things we have in life, even when things aren't very good. And as cheesy as that might sound, I really want you to dig deep into that. I want you to spend time thinking about all the things in your life. And I think a lot of the times we tend to focus on the big things. If our relationships are going well, if financially we're doing well, if all the big things are going well. But at the end of the day, the little stuff is just as important and can really make or break your perspective. Like if you are struggling in a certain aspect of your life, like a relationship that you're in is stressing you out, or you're experiencing a loss or something difficult is going on, then it's really easy to lose track of other good things that are happening in your life. And you're not going to naturally think of those good things because you're overwhelmed with the negative, or you're just really super focused on the hard thing that's going on in your life. So it is up to you to figure out how to break it down, slow it down, and really look at those little things in life. I mean, as small as being thankful for the warmth that you have in your home, the hot water, that you're not having to wake up and take a cold shower because your house has a hot water heater, or thankful that you didn't have to, you know, worry about where you got your money to pay for your meal that day, or thankful that you had enough money to feed your family, or thankful that you have a job to go to, thankful that you have clothes that fit, thankful that you're not sleeping out in the cold, thankful that you're not, sick today, whatever. It's the little stuff. And as hard as it might be to imagine yourself going through your day thinking of all these little things, it's actually really important. I'm not saying like walk through your day every day and make a physical list of all the things you're thankful for, but more often than not, I do want you to have a running mental list of all the things. Just get. I guess maybe the way to put it is get yourself to a point where you're noticing the little things, where your focus is not just on the obvious good in your life, but also create a perspective of the little goods. Look around your home, be more, I guess, aware, be more involved in your life so that you can notice the good things that are going on in it, because all too often we only feel that gratitude when it's something big. And I think that you can look at this from a really basic perspective, like what I'm discussing, with just kind of a perspective, an outlook, a way of living your life. But then you could also look at it from a deeper mental health standpoint. So if you're familiar with the theory of cognitive behavioral therapy, it's a really common theory that a lot of therapists practice by. It's research based. There's lots and lots of research put into understanding this and really trying to understand how the mind and like outlook and perspective really works. And that's the theory that I use. But the idea behind it is that the way that you think, the way that you perceive a situation in your life is going to determine how you feel about it. And the way you feel about it is going to determine what you do in that behavior. And so that outlook, that thought is so important in determining how you feel and how you interact with your world. And if I walk around my life just really thinking about the negative and only focusing on the things that aren't good, then that is going to impact how I feel. That I'm going to feel really, really bad. I'm going to feel sad. I'm going to feel discouraged. I'm going to feel like a victim, whatever. And that feeling, that negative feeling, is going to make me behave in a way where maybe I'm not doing things to take care of myself. I'm not engaging with people in a positive way. Maybe I'm isolating, things like that. And obviously, CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, is much more detailed. There's a lot more you can go into, but that's the foundation of it. That's the basis, is that your outlook, your perspective, your thought is the number one thing that you have control over that would really alter and change how you feel and how you interact with your environment. And if you practice being more positive and looking at the things in your life in a more positive way, then you have the ability to take control to some extent over the way you feel. Now, at the end of the day, things happen that just are very difficult, death, loss, grief, things like that. But even then, we are responsible for finding a way to be mindful of our perspective, find the things to be grateful for. And they're not always going to flip our mood 100%. They're not going to make life easy, but they ease things for us. They help us live a life that is a little more just fulfilling, because it takes into consideration the good things that we have in life. And, some of that is going to be grateful for outward things, like the things that we have, but some of it's got to be also internal, like grateful for things that we do, grateful for who we are, grateful for, maybe qualities in ourselves that we don't notice are good. Hey, you know what? I'm just proud of myself because I held the door open for someone, or I smiled at someone or told them to have a good day, and it seemed like they were struggling, and because I said that, that made them smile. Or I complimented someone's hair or clothing, and that brought a smile to their face. Like, that's the thing that you can be proud of within yourself, that you made a difference in someone else's day, no matter how big or small. So be thankful, be grateful for your personality, and if there are things in there you need to change, go for it. But the gratefulness and the thankfulness I want you to be aware of is, a lot of it is outward, the health of your family, the things that you have, the opportunities that you have, the things in your home, little, big. And honestly, I think this is a really good exercise for children, because I talk to a lot of people who worry that their kids are super entitled or spoiled, and a lot of that is just because they're not, you might have the kind of lifestyle where your kids don't have to struggle, which is great. I don't want your kids to struggle, but it's really, really good to help them kind of look at the details of their life and think of all the things in their life that they're thankful for, so that they can notice that it's not something that they're entitled to. Some people don't have these things. Some people don't have the ability to live a comfortable life the way that you might live it. So it's not about you should suffer so that you notice other people suffering. No, it's just be thankful, just be aware. Try not to whine as much, try not to complain as much, and we all have to work on that. And I'm not great at this either. It's something I have to work on. And I try to be super thankful of things. Generally speaking, I am very aware of the hardships that other people go through, because I spend my day talking to people who struggle. So as a result of that, I do believe that I am more aware of the things that, or I try to be very aware of things that I'm thankful for. But I fall in that trap of, negativity also, where, if something's not going well, it's just, it kind of wraps me, where I feel it and I'm very just aware of that negativity. And so I have to break out of that myself to be like, okay, well, you know what, that really sucked, but I'm really glad I was able to do this today. Or, I'm glad I don't feel as bad as I could, or I'm glad that it didn't, affect me in this way. It's just seeking the positivity so that you don't drown in the negativity. And that is up to you to do. No one can do that for you. You'll have people who are trying to encourage you or give you a different perspective. And sometimes that's going to irritate you because you're not in the mood to be cheered up. You are the one that's going to have to do that for yourself. So, if, part of what made me think of this is just, something like social media, Facebook, um, seeing people who around this time of year, have a post maybe every day about the things they're thankful for. And I'm like, that's really cool. But what about the rest of the year? Like, do you try the rest of the year to look for those things that you're thankful for? If you're spending time right now trying to really intentionally think of something that you want to post on Facebook about being thankful, that's awesome. That takes effort if you're not used to it. Do you do that throughout the year? And it doesn't have to be outward. It can just be inward. There are a lot of people that keep gratitude journals, or in their planner, whatever they use, they try to find a little space there to scribble down a couple of things that they're thankful for. That's really, really good. It's, not everyone does that, but that's okay if you find your own way to do it. It's just about being aware of the things that you want to be thankful for. And so if you don't do that, give it a shot. If you feel like you are someone who is already really thankful and really grateful and aware of all the things in your life that you appreciate, great. Most people are not like that. Most of us just aren't. We get up, we go. We go through our day, we do all the things that we have to do, and we don't always slow it down. And I want you to slow it down. I want you to enjoy the things that are in your life. But again, I don't want you to just be thankful and grateful when things are easy. I want you to seek out the good things in your life, even when things are hard, because that is the difference between being a grateful person when you're prompted to be grateful and being the kind of person that lives a more grateful life. And that is my challenge to you. I want you to be the kind of person that lives a grateful life, the kind of person that lives a thankful life, that that is appreciative of the opportunities that you have in your life, or the gifts, or the things that other people don't have. And I think we tend to think of this on a big scale. I want you to think of it on a little scale. You might not have a family that you love, that you're close to, that loves you, or that you can go to. Okay, that sucks. When other people do, you might feel really, really kind of sad that other people have that you don't. Okay, but so what are you going to do? Are you going to feel stuck in that sadness, or are you going to acknowledge the sadness, work through it, deal with it, but also really try to focus on all these other things that you might have that other people don't have, that could really be something that you try to be, to sit in your own thankfulness for the things that really make your day good or make your life good, even if you don't have what someone else has, because you're always going to notice something that someone has that you don't. There's always going to be something that someone else can do that you can't do, or an opportunity that they get, or a relationship that they have. There will always be something that you could look at and wish that you had. But this is about finding a way to be thankful for the things in your life. But again, it's more than just the little things. It's that mindset. It's being a thankful person, having a mindset of gratitude all the time. It's like almost like a lens, pair of glasses that you put on, where when you look through it, you're seeing life differently. You're seeing it in a way that is more positive, it's just a better outlook. And by doing that, it serves you so well, because it helps you interact with your world differently. It helps you interact through that lens, instead of being the kind of person that searches for the negative, or the negative just stands out to you more or is louder for you. Be the kind of person that is trying to really, like, your goal is to look for the good, is to compliment the good in other people, to find the good in other people, to bring out the good in yourself, to try to radiate. And we all know those people who are just positive all the time and are really encouraging. Some people don't like that. Maybe that's because they've got their own negativity they're fighting and they don't enjoy being around positive people. But for the most part, we feel uplifted when we're around someone that's encouraging, someone that's positive, someone that's smiling, someone that is just kind. And so we have the opportunity to be that person, to radiate thankfulness and joy. And it's a choice, and I know people who live the most difficult life, like they've had such difficult experiences, things that are just straight up unfair that have happened to them, but they still manage to be so positive and so just positive in the way they look at life. Their outlook is very encouraging, and they just don't get lost in that negativity, because they've decided somewhere along the way that doesn't serve them. It doesn't help them live the kind of life that they want to live. It doesn't mean they don't struggle. It doesn't mean they don't have to work through their hardships, but it's a choice that they've made. And that's something I aspire to do. I'm not fantastic at it. I have days where I'm, kind of high-fiving myself internally, because I was just like, I handled today so well because I chose to do things that made it easier for me. It was a hard day. The things I had to do were really difficult, but like I took it step by step, and I chose to incorporate things in my day that made me happy, or I chose to look at things in a way that helped me not focus on the negative. But that's not easy. There are a lot of days where I'm like, oh gosh, I'm a little whiny today, or I feel like I complained way too much, or I just kind of irritated internally. So I'm working on that too. But I want you to think, to ask yourself, am I the kind of person that's only grateful and thankful when I'm prompted to be by a holiday or whatever? Or am I the kind of person that lives a grateful life and that chooses to have a grateful outlook on life? So I'm going to wrap it up here. I don't want to drone on and on. And I hope that gives you something to think about. I do hope that if you are celebrating Thanksgiving today with your family, that you had a really good day. So I guess for you, it'll be tomorrow. You'll be thinking about yesterday. But, soak up this time. I hope everyone is having good family time. And if you don't have someone to share it with, I hope that you find a way to make it special for yourself, and that you are just doing something to take care of yourself for it. All right. I hope everyone has a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.